Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the next edition of World of Wellness Weekend. We are live here. The place is rocking and rolling. Going crazy. Woo! Thanks, Phil. Thank you. So we have so much going on here, folks. We have free education, free samples, free food, all kinds of great educational experiences happening here. So, and of course, incredible discounts you won't find anywhere in the country. So for here today, it's Friday, September 27th, and Saturday, all day long. Come on down. We'd love to see you, love to talk to you, love to help you. But for today's talk, we're going to talk about maximizing human performance. Okay. So this is obviously one of the foundations of what we always want to discuss, because we can recommend the greatest supplement in the world, folks. But if we're not exercising, you want to take it just as a commitment to eating properly. You want to be exercising. By the way, I should introduce myself for those who don't know me. My name is Mike Gallagher. I'm a certified lifestyle educator. I've been in the industry for over 30 years. I've been at every single one of these weekends. We used to have them weeks. Now they're weekends. Every single one of them. So we're in the triple digits now. 109. I've been to every one. The only person that can say this, Phil, I have the streak going. Cal Ripken, baby. Yep. So again, folks, so a lot of people know me, but for those who don't, I'm always here to help, always here to steer you in the right direction, make informed educational decisions, what's really about, okay? But like I said, foundation, folks, exercising. You know, if you look at all the studies, they should be doing something for 30 minutes a day, okay? Do something you enjoy. So there's all different types of activities we can do, right? There's anaerobic, weightlifting, right? But you don't need to go to the gym always. You can just go do it from home, right? Just doing push-ups, sit-ups, band training, right? Things like this. So again, we have the greatest gym in the world. It's called Outside. How about that, right? Walking, running, biking, swimming, right? All different types of activities. Okay, but you should be doing something, all right? And as Nike said, just do it. So, again, we can recommend the greatest supplement in the world, but if we're not doing the basics, if we're not eating the right foods, if we're not exercising, if we're not sleeping, if we're not reducing stress, okay, emotional wellness, as Christine just taught us, all right, all these play a huge role, right? But this part of the conversation is geared towards the fitness side. And again, we see people just starting out or have been taking a break for a long time, all the way to advanced people and professional athletes. And we do deal with professional athletes, folks. We deal with doctors and trainers who deal with professional athletes. So we cover every stage of it. So we're just kind of break it down from a nutritional aspect of what we're looking at there. So let's go back to that, where we were at. So this is right off our website, folks, nutritionalfrontiers.com. This is under our catalog section, and then you click on the wellness solution section, and we have 12 major categories, and this is the main one that we're going to discuss today is the fitness side. So if you go right here in the right hand side there, halfway down, the right arrow, you open it up, and you talk about the different formulas that we have, okay? So we're going to break these down just to kind of show you where they fit, how we position them, how we dose them, again, to get the best fastest results, okay? But here is where it all starts, is with the food, okay? Because we cannot out-supplement a poor diet. So always keep that in mind. It's called supplementing your diet. So we want you to eat these foods every day, right? Of course, vegetables. Know your sources on your proteins. Organic as much as possible. Wild as much as possible. Know your local farmers, okay? but we want to avoid all the bad stuff. And again, we're trying to simplify it here, but I think we all know all the bad stuff, all the fried foods, sugar, of course, right? So the more consistently that we eat these foods, the faster, quicker results that we're going to get. And so again, basic guideline there of things to follow. If we flip it on the back there, right, you can see we kind of broke all these down. So you guys can, anybody can print this out, but we're just going to go through these one by one today. So let's talk about beginners, right? So we break this down to pre-workout and post-workout, okay? Very simple. So let's talk about this one here is the Pro Oranges. So when you look at this, first and foremost, this is a food. It is fruit and vegetables. Per serving, you're getting 5 servings of fruit and vegetables per serving. And you're getting a combination between 30 and 40 different types of fruits and vegetables per serving. And again, we know a lot of these are not in season all year round. So this is giving you some unique fruits and vegetables that you typically are not getting all the time. The Pro Oranges does have other benefits of it. It will help stabilize blood sugar. It, again, for this purpose, energy, right? But not caffeine, cellular energy. And again, what we're featuring right now, the fitness side. So if I was just working with a teenager or just starting out with somebody who hasn't been in the gym in a while, haven't worked out in a while, and they need a little boost, little jump start, this is where we start, right? With fruit and vegetables as your pre-workout, okay? It's going to be much healthier than a lot of those energy drinks on the market, which are loaded with caffeine or other ingredients, artificial flavors and sugars. Again, you might feel that rush, but then usually crash and burn, right? Where with this, you don't get that whatsoever. It actually stabilizes. So what is in here besides the fruit and vegetables? Well, one of the main things we're using is green coffee bean extract. Okay, so green coffee bean extract converts into caffeic acid, cellular energy. Okay, and it does this without that spike in caffeine. Okay, so that's one of the main ingredients that does this. Okay, and then we look at some other ingredients in here. Dimethylglycine, which we talk about all the time. We've done hundreds of talks about it. DMG stands for dimethylglycine, or does me good. But when you combine DMG with all these other incredible ingredients, you're going to get faster, quick results there. You have some ginseng to help support your adrenals. In fact, we're using this patented trademark form of ashwagandha here that we put here at the bottom that actually has been shown to help with body distribution, or as we like to say, a favorable distribution of body mass. So weight loss, increasing lean muscle, folks. So that is also unique and separates this from any other fruit and vegetable drink on the market. But then you look at some other things there. Taurine, CoQ10, right? There's the ashwagandha we just mentioned. So all of these are helping on a cellular level, okay? So very, very unique. So there it is, what we talked about with green coffee bean already, okay? And again, CoQ10 helping increase production of ATP, energy in your cells, okay? So very simply, all we would recommend if I was taking this would be, and I do, take this. If on the way to the gym, you can sip on half of it and drink the other half during the workout. You can drink all of it during the workout and then just fill your water bottle up. But we have samples of it here for you to try out. And we encourage you, everybody, come out, to try the Pro Oranges if you haven't already. Okay? So great for all ages. Can't emphasize that enough. All right? But the second and most important thing here is the recovery stage, because that is where you really grow from a workout perspective. Exercise is part of it, and yes, you have to be you have enough intensity there, shall we say, to burn those muscles. But then the recovery portion is where we really grow as an athlete, or if you're trying to increase performance there. And so we really, basic foundational here, we really would recommend protein. Okay, now protein you can use so many different ways. Protein, of course, you can use it as a meal replacement if you're trying to lose weight. You can use it if you're trying to gain muscle. You can add it to your meal. Okay, and very general, simple mathematical equation is, just think of this, like, so protein is the building block of muscle. And the more protein that we have, lean protein, the more muscle we have. So this was taught to me many years ago, but basic mathematics, if we're just trying to maintain current muscle mass, if you take 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight that you are currently weighing, that will maintain, okay? So let's just say you weigh 200 pounds, right? Keep it simple. So just to maintain, you need 200 grams of protein per day. So now we need to break that down in divided doses, okay? So it's really hard to consume that amount just with food alone. So when you look at the protein content in the whey protein in the best way, you're getting over 20 grams of protein per serving, right? They're 20 grams. So we get that extra protein when we're combining it with the meal, is how we look at this. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, if we're trying to really increase muscle mass, then we want to increase that number to 1.5 grams of protein per serving, per pound of body weight, okay? So this is where you see bodybuilders and people, athletes and so forth, consuming a lot of protein a day. But the average person isn't. But this is why. So we know there's lots of proteins out there on the market, folks, but there's really we have some unique ones here at Nutritional Frontiers, starting with the whey protein, okay? So whey is from dairy, okay? So it is a byproduct of cheese, okay? But ours is 100% lactose free, okay? So that's very, very rare for whey protein to be lactose free. The other thing is the source of the cows itself, grass-fed, hormone-free, antibiotic-free, as clean as you can make this, okay, from a protein source. It's also, we're using concentrate form, which is the closest to nature. A lot of supplement companies use isolate, and isolate is not the best for you when it comes to whey protein. And there's actually a chemical process that they use to convert it from concentrate to isolate, okay? Why do a lot of supplement companies promote whey isolate? Because it's cheaper, okay? It's cheaper to make, and you can make but we always want to give you the best of the best, right? So whey protein, we also added all these additional immunoglobulins and additional antibodies here that will also help with the recovery period. So we have this in 2 flavors, chocolate and vanilla. Again, we have free samples of it. It's fantastic. We get a lot of great compliments on our whey protein. And if you break it down per serving, per meal, it's really great value. Okay, it's really under $3 a serving. And it's really hard to find anything that's going to be this clean with additional protein, no artificial flavors or sweeteners, okay? That is $3 or under per serving, okay? So we can go the whey protein route. But let's say you prefer more vegetarian protein, no problem. So that's where the super shakes come into play. So again, we're using vegetable protein sources. So if you are sensitive to dairy, again, this is another great option for you. So the source of the protein itself is pea, rice, and pumpkin. The rice itself is organic brown rice on this, okay? We also have the additional fiber, just like the best whey. And by the way, with the fiber itself, there's a lot of fiber on the market, but this is a very unique fiber. It's a patented trademark form called Fibersol 2, and this has been shown to stabilize blood sugar. A lot of fiber on the market, especially commercial retail fiber, spikes up your blood sugar. This does not. So that's also very unique on this, and it actually is digestion resistant, meaning it actually bypasses the stomach and goes right to the colon. And so this is very unique. Now, we do have this by itself. If someone wants additional fiber, it's called Frontier Fiber. It's odorless, tasteless. There's no grit whatsoever, but we use this in our proteins, which really is unique from a protein to see fiber, especially this form. And overall, globally, this is the #1 fiber in the world, but most people are not aware of this in the United States. The other thing that we added in the Super Shakes, which makes it unique, is these MCTs, medium chain triglycerides. So these are the good fats that burn the bad fats, very simply. And this is where coconut oil and palm oil are derived from, okay? So that is also available in the Super Shake. The other cool thing about this Super Shake is we have a lot of variety. So we don't have just chocolate vanilla, folks. We have banana strawberry, chocolate coconut, cafe mocha, right? So if you're getting what we call flavor fatigue, if you're sick of just basic chocolate and vanilla, you should try these other flavors. And then if you try them with some of the other formulas, some of the colors, like the Pro Oranges, for example, if you tried the vanilla protein, either the Super Shake or the Best Way with the Pro Oranges, it tastes like a healthy orange creamsicle, right? With some ice and water. And if you want a little bit creamier, you can add coconut milk, right? Or rice milk to it. So again, come on down. We'll make some shakes up for you if you like to try these, okay? So again, same thing, same principle. You add it to a meal if you're trying to increase lean muscle, and you take it in place of a meal if you're trying to lose weight. That's the beautiful thing about protein. It's very, very flexible. Okay, so we have the Super Shake. Now, let's go back to, so that's what I would start with anybody starting out, whether you're 16 years old, whether you're 60, just getting back into it. Let's just start there. Be consistent, at least 3 days a week, exercising, all right, until we come to the intermediate stage. So intermediate typically is around 3 to 6 months, right? So now we're really starting to make progress, and that's where you might need a little bit extra boost, okay? So at this point, this is where we would look at adding the Power Fuel. So if we look at the Power Fuel tech sheet, which is, again, I pulled it right off the website. So Power Fuel takes the energy level to a whole nother level, I should say, okay? Thank you. Wordplay there. But when we look at this, you can use this a lot of different ways. So I'm going to give you a lot of other ways you can use this, but we're talking about you can use this as a pre-workout. Some people like this as a post-workout. You can add it to the Pro Oranges as well if you want a double whammy of energy, and I guarantee you it will give you a double whammy there. But again, helps with cardiovascular, mitochondria support, okay? That's what it's all about, folks, right here. Critical, increasing ATP. This is where energy is made, okay? And so the #1 ingredient that actually has been shown to do this is D-ribose. So even though it's a naturally occurring sugar, it will not raise blood sugar. Anybody can take this, no problems if you're diabetic or blood sugar issues. But there are tremendous studies on just this one ingredient to help increase that ATP, okay? Then this is, again, where we also added DMG, right? It's going to enhance all of these ingredients, what we call methylize, and DMG is your master methylizer, right? But even DMG itself was originally used back in the 60s with Russian athletes because this helped with reducing lactic acid, reducing free radical damage, boosting your endurance, helping with recovery, okay? Plus, it's going to enhance all these other ingredients. Very unique. We have the CoQ10 in there as well, and this is part of your Krebs cycle, which is critical key nutrients for mitochondria support. So again, going back to your chemistry days in high school, Krebs cycle. In fact, all these first ingredients, these first several, are all doing this. L-carnitine also plays a role, also part of Krebs cycle, also helps with blood sugar and fat metabolism. Okay, malic acid, right? There's it is part of that Krebs cycle, right? Very important part. And typically, again, if you have fibromyalgia, if you have muscle weakness, typically there where malic acid is very deficient as well. And then we have the enzymes here, or excuse me, first we have rhodiola, an herb. So this has been used for centuries. This helps as far as stress and the stress side of exercise and endurance, okay? Then we have bromelain. So this enzyme derived from pineapples helps as far as reducing the inflammation, again, after exercising, right? Very unique enzyme there. It helps with the immune, as you can see, swelling. Protease, another enzyme, helps with muscle soreness as well, okay? So that's why some take this as a post-workout. Either way, folks, whatever you prefer. Like I said, I do it as a pre-workout, but we do have several who do it as a post. And in recently, we added a few extra ingredients to this. We added electrolytes. So from time to time, we get people, or parents whose children are using Gatorade and things like these. And again, folks, we're not fans of those kind of drinks. There's a lot of chemicals in them, a lot of artificial flavoring, sugaring. Right, the principle is really good. Electrolytes will help you, but everything else that they use is not the best. So this is going to be like Gatorade on steroids. That's another way you can position this one, right? As far as, so we have these other key aminos, arginine, citrulline, taurine. So these aminos also help increase nitric oxide, and nitric oxide reduces lactic acid. And this is very popular in the sports nutrition world because it reduces, you're able to work out longer and harder, and you recover faster. Okay. It also will give you a greater pump in the gym if you take this as a pre-workout as well, right? In fact, folks, when you look at the research, arginine and citrulline together won a Nobel Prize for increasing nitric oxide in the 90s. A lot of people don't know this, or they forgot about it. But again, people think that vitamins, just little over 30 years ago, they were winning Nobel Prizes. Okay, so just a little insight there for you on that. So you combine this all together. This is just really an amazing, unique formula that helps on many levels. The mitochondria energy level, but also the nitric oxide boost. You're also getting the electrolyte mineral boost. It's helping reduce the stress all in one. Okay, so from a workout standpoint, either pre or post, but there's two other ways that I would recommend this. One is cardiovascular, especially if someone is having surgery. You can use this for all surgery, but especially cardiovascular heart attacks. So say you have somebody, a loved one, that recently had a heart attack. When they come out of that surgery, folks, when they're home, they're exhausted. It's difficult even to walk up a flight of steps. There's a lot of trauma and stress, of course, on the heart. And so this will dramatically help speed up their recovery and strengthen the heart all at the same time, okay? For those type of situations, we would recommend 2 scoops a day, 1 scoop in the morning and 1 scoop at noon, until those symptoms are 100% better. There's a very famous cardiologist. His name is Dr. Steven Sinatra, Frank's little brother. No relation to Frank. Just a little easy way to remember it. All right. But Dr. Sinatra has written many best-selling books. In fact, over 10 of them. And in every one of his books, he mentions every single ingredient that is in Power Fuel, with studies and testimonials and case studies that he's experienced through his life. Okay? So the research is out there, folks. All right? So if your cardiologist is not telling you about this, there is one who is, Dr. Steven Sinatra. But we would really use this for any type of surgery. And the rule of thumb is 2 weeks before your surgery and then 4 weeks after your surgery. It's going to dramatically help the healing process and recover faster. Okay? All right. The third and really unique and incredible way that we would position this is for fibromyalgia. Okay? Fibromyalgia. So true fibro is 22 points in your body with tremendous pain, like 10 out of 10. We know sometimes the medical profession likes to use that term just generally when they don't know what else is going on. But true fibro is really 22 sensitive areas throughout the body. And the way we look at it is completely different than the allopathic model. We get the best, fastest results focusing on the mitochondria. And the majority of time, it usually is a mitochondria deficiency. All right, completely different approach. And again, we would dose this 2 scoops a day. 1 scoop in the morning, 1 scoop at noon. So I've had some incredible cases through the years, incredible testimonials with this, but one case really stands out. It's one of the all-timers. So right here at the clinic, I'll never forget this. This woman came in several years ago. It was like a Tuesday afternoon, and she said, I asked her what's going on. And she said, I have really bad fibromyalgia. I'm like, how bad? She said, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's 8 out of 10. And I've had this, I asked her how long you've had it. She said 20 years. And then she proceeds to tell me how she's gone through all these different clinics and testing and different therapies and basically spent over $50,000. And she's on Vicodins and Perks and Oxycontins and all this stuff, pain blockers, and nothing's helping. And she's still in tremendous pain. And she said, is there anything you can do? And I'm like, yep, here you go. 2 scoops a day, Power Fuel. And she's looked at me like really strange. She's like, what? Are you serious? And I'm like, yes, very serious. She's like, is that it? I'm like, yes, that's it. 2 scoops. I said, it's already too late in the day today, but I want you to start tomorrow. I want you to start first thing in the morning, do a scoop, and then at noon, I want you to do the second dose. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm very sure. So she tried it. She picked it up, and, she went on her way. Flash forward, Friday, she comes back to the clinic here. And she sees me, she runs over, she gives me a big hug, she starts crying, tears of joy, and she's like, it's gone. And I'm like, what's gone? She's like, the pain, everything, gone, 100%. It's a 0. And I said, oh, that's incredible. I'm so glad it's working for you. She actually then wrote a testimonial. She called this a miracle in a jar. Okay? And I said, oh, by the way, I guess you owe me $49,930, right? Because that's how much I saved her, right? But just joking, folks. Again, the message is all you have to do is come down, talk to us. We can help you, steer you. But that's what it's really about, right? There's tons of different vitamins out there and supplements out there. We know this, lots of options and choices. But if we can help somebody in 3 days that suffered 20 years, it's pretty powerful. And we have thousands of these testimonials on our website now. Thousands of professionals we're working with. Come on down, give this a chance. So anybody that you know that is suffering from those issues, come on down. Okay? So, all right. So let's go. By the way, we have this in 2 flavors, orange or berry. Again, if you want, we can mix them up for you here. Tastes excellent. All right. Now, let's go to advanced. All right. So advanced is where we get into creatine. So I know creatine, I was there when it first came out back in the early 90s, okay? The company that I used to work with distributed 80 different companies. I tried those 80, all 80 had creatine at the time, all right? Plus thousands of other creatines. I've tried them all, folks, okay? Been doing this a long time, but there's no creatine like this one, okay? I also want to emphasize, we'll explain why here in a minute, but I know it's very popular with teenagers, especially boys, a lot of peer pressure to gain strength and size for athletic events, pressure on the parents, pressure on the kids. But I would not recommend creatine for a beginner or even an intermediate because your body's still growing. And you're still making gains. If you're working out consistently and you're taking enough protein, you don't need creatine yet. And I want to emphasize that, yet. It's only when you hit a strength plateau that is when you should be. Now you're ready for the creatine. Because if we cut corners and we skip, we're trying to skip things and cut to the chase, and we just start out with creatine, the second you stop the creatine, you lose all your gains. You lose all the strength. We haven't built up the foundation yet, okay? But if you have built up the foundation and you're working out consistently, and then we hit that strength plateau, and now we take the super creatine, now we can blast through that plateau, and when you stop taking it, once you hit another plateau, we recommend giving your body a break for 30 days. But now you won't come back down to zero. You only come down a little bit. You will maintain the majority of that strength. So this is what I always would recommend, and hopefully that makes sense to people, and especially the beginners, right? You don't want to start with creatine. You don't want to take shortcuts because it will cost you in the long run. You just like a house, you got to build a foundation first, okay? The other problem with regular creatine monohydrate, which is what most people take, is that it converts to what's called creatinine. Creatinine is where you get the side effects. It causes GI upset, for some bloatiness, for some constipation, for some diarrhea, okay? It also, it really swells you up as far as holds a lot of water weight, okay? And that is all byproducts of creatinine, okay? That is not what we're using here, folks. So we're using a patented trademark form called Magna Power. So Magna Power does not convert to creatinine whatsoever. The other thing with regular creatine, we would just recommend you do a loading dose. With this one, you don't need to do a loading dose whatsoever. So you get all the positive benefits of creatine, but none of the negative side effects. And this is the only creatine on the market that I've ever studied that has not one but 2 PubMed studies to help with performance, right? And these are on PubMed, which is the gold standard of research, published medical studies that are double-blind, placebo-controlled studies, right? And so when you combine this with magnesium, it buffers the creatine that doesn't do that conversion. So that's why it's called Magnet Power. But one study that was shown was soccer players. In fact, it was on female soccer players demonstrating improved sprinting and overall endurance. Okay. So again, people think creatine just with runner, and don't necessarily associate with runners, just with like bench press and things like that. But no, it can be very helpful for cardiovascular training as well. And then another PubMed study was on bench press with athletes that showed significant improvement in just a few weeks of taking this. Okay, so numerous studies help with strength, power, right? Maximizing your muscle contraction. It's really a cell volumizer. Okay, so this is really unique. I can't emphasize this enough in the world of creatine. Okay, but we didn't stop there. So what else we did? So we talked about the arginine and the citrulline. I'm going to go with the power fuel to help increase nitric oxide, and this has both of those. But this also, we added organic beetroot powder. And so this also is the newest, latest, greatest in the world of nitric oxide. Very popular for athletes. As I mentioned earlier with the power fuel, it will give you a greater pump in the gym if you take this as a pre-workout, and reduces lactic acid and increases that blood flow, right? So some companies just sell that by itself. We have it in the super creatine. And then you have the recovery side, right? The recovery is the glutamine, the most abundant amino acid in your plasma. And this, again, is how you get bigger, stronger, faster, right? The glutamine enhances that muscle tissue recovery. It's very, very unique, and we're using a large amount. Then we added vanadium, which is a key mineral. Goes back to the 80s with swimmers using vanadium. And there's some companies who just sell that just by itself. We're using the active form of alpha-lipoic acid, the R form, and again, helps with energy production. Critical for that ATP, also powerful antioxidant. Chromium, again, another key mineral in there, helps stabilize blood sugar. Again, these are all patented forms. And last but not least, folks, DMG. I've never seen DMG in any other sports nutrition, creatine formula, alone sports nutrition line. So this is, again, what really separates us. We take really good ingredients. You add the DMG to it. It enhances it, makes it even better. Okay. We also put this in a really good flavor, raspberry kiwi flavor, right? So I've had people tell me that they absolutely love this flavor. It mixes instantly within the spoon. But I've had people tell me, Mike, I don't even like kiwi, and I like this. It's that good, right? It really does. So again, we have samples of it here, folks, if you want to come down. But here's how I would recommend taking this, all right? I recommend, again, very similar to the others. I would drink half of it on the way to the gym and the other half during your workout. So it's really a pre and during. So it's going to give you that little energy boost prior to getting there. And then it's really going to help you maintain your energy throughout the workout. Then fill your water bottle up. After that, make sure you're properly hydrated. But that is how we get the best results. So this is one way we'd use the creatine. But there is another really great benefit of it for the elderly, okay? So there's a lot of emerging research that's coming out now that creatine is tremendous to help with strength levels for the elderly. So I want you to think, or maybe you know somebody in your own family or friend or neighbor that's struggling with canes, with walkers, getting in and out of the bed, right? Well, creatine, this particular creatine, will give them that strength, that leverage that they can use to help with those type of basic movements, okay, that they're really struggling for, okay? And this particular creatine will not affect the kidneys. It will not interfere with any medication, just taking an hour away. And we would just take that one scoop in the morning. If you're not working out, I would just take one scoop in the morning, just an hour away from any medication. And in just a few days, you should really feel this and notice this. So one of my other accounts, practitioners, her mom is 92 years young, and she's really been struggling getting in and out of the bed with these basic function movements. And I told her about this, and she tried it, and within a week, she reported back to me she feels like a brand new person, right? Brand new person, and now she's telling everybody. So it doesn't matter what age you are, folks. It really will help you if you give this a chance, okay? So that's how we look at it on that level. And then last but not least is this one, Frontier BCAAs. So BCAA stands for branched chain amino acid. So these are the main aminos for muscle tissue recovery and growth, okay? So when you break these down, these are the main ones right here: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. And so these go back a long time. Branch chains go back to the 70s. Research on it. It's like old school bodybuilding. This is all they would take because they didn't have a lot of options back then. But we talked about the protein, okay, right, being the basics for muscle tissue recovery. Well, the aminos make up the protein. So these are your main amino acids that does this. But we added other things. We added a large amount of glutamine in this. So we just talked about that a second ago with the super creatine, right? So we added a large amount of glutamine for that muscle tissue recovery as well, plus the citrulline, natural cherry fruit, so natural vitamin C. Again, all these key aminos all in one, okay? So this would be best post-workout. Or let's say you have a job that you very labor intense, right? So, or again, chiropractors, massage therapists. We work with many hundreds. And a lot of them put a lot of wear and tear on their body. And they're seeing, by the end of the day, they're just wiped out. So a lot of them might just say, hey, listen, on your way home, drink this. Drink this on your way. And within a few days, they feel tremendously better, not as sore. So you can use it that way. But for the athlete, the advanced athlete, what I would do is I would take your protein, which we always should be doing, either the best way or the super shake. You add a scoop of the Frontier branched chain amino acid on your way home from the gym, okay? Right? You don't have to wait till you get home to take this. Just drink this on the way. So you have the super creatine and the Power Fuel pre-workout, and then post-workout, you have the branched chain amino acids with the whey protein or the super shake. That is a powerful, powerful combination of nutrients, folks. And again, I would bet money if you're taking this and you're working out consistently, you will gain huge results, right? Huge results blast through every single plateau. And if you want to really triple dip, if you take a scoop of the Pro Oranges with the scoop of the Power Fuel with the super creatine together as a pre-workout, that is an incredible workout program. And that is what a lot of the advanced people we work with, a lot of athletes are using, a lot of professional athletes. That's what the doctors and trainers are recommending, that combination right there. So again, that takes it to a whole nother level. You can take any of these individually, but when you start bundling them together, you're going to get even faster, greater results. Okay? So with that being said, is there any questions, Phil, out there? I guess I answered them all, huh? Right, as always. All right. Thank you, folks. I hear the crowd going. Hold on. Here they are. There they are. Folks, hold your applause. Just throw money. Just throw money. All right. Thank